Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. I know I look strange and awkward, and I feel just as strange and awkward without Jamie here with me.
Some of you have never seen this side of Rachel, the side that's not attached to Jamie.
Very uncomfortable. I need to at least FaceTime her or something. I'm just but we have Josh.
We should have done a Jamie sock puppet. That would have been fun.
And I don't know that either one of us could have talked as much for
That's true. My hand would be tired.
Yeah. So, but we have Josh, and it's what it is. But could have brought my water jug baseball and initiated you into the group of the no.
Jamie, come back.
Yeah. So we've been talking a lot about joy and the different perspectives of that. So we're going to kind of look at that again today. Thinking about a person trying to run a complicated machinery, and if they were never taught how to do such things, they would be very frustrated. I just imagine like dad cleaning the ice cream machine at the rock or something. Just if you don't know how, you were not taught, it's very frustrating. You can't find joy. It's just almost impossible really to even run it properly. And so, but imagine if the person that made that machine was like, this is how you do it. This is the intended use. This is, and just thoroughly explained what it does, the functions, and how to use it. Then you could run it. You could understand how to do this. And I can attest this. It's kind of a small scale of it in my life, but a little testimony from me. Within the first 3 years of our marriage, we were 21, we had 2 kids, and we had just bought our first house.
You and CJ.
Yes, not me and Josh. No.
There's a confusion there.
Me and CJ.
Just have to add that note in there.
And so needless to say, things were a little bit rough on the first few years. And I was trying to figure out how to be a mom and how to be a wife. And so I looked, of course, to anyone in the same phase of life, whether that was the world or the church. Didn't really matter. Somebody help me. That's all I cared about. The problem was I was trying to operate life the way other people were operating life, whether correctly or not correctly. And it wasn't the way the Creator intended. And so I was left feeling empty and frustrated. And honestly, this part of my life was what I had dreamt of and wanted for since I was a little girl. And so it's finally to this phase of life that I had been wanting and dreaming. And I was like, this is it? This isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I hoped for. I felt
buyer's remorse.
Yeah. That's horrible. But yeah.
She loves her kids, I promise. Yeah. And CJ.
Yes, all of them. But I definitely had no joy and just felt miserable. And even though I felt like this is what I was created for, just didn't feel satisfied of what I needed to be. And so I, as a good Christian mom and wife, thought CJ and the kids were the problem. This is what you guys are doing wrong. If you guys would do this, CJ, just take out the trash when it's full. Kids, just put your dirty dishes in the dishwasher.
I can't wait for him to watch this episode.
Then I could be happy, right? If they did the things that they needed to do, they're the reason I'm not happy. And that made the issue much worse. It didn't help anything. So even though I knew I was created for this, I just felt like my machine wasn't running the way it was supposed to. And I had come to grips with the way I saw things in the world, or even the modern church, and the things just wasn't the way it was created to run. Everyone around me, I felt like wasn't doing it right either. So what do you do? How do you overcome this? And so one night, I can remember it so clearly, I hit rock bottom. Nothing really happened. Me and CJ were fighting. No idea what it was about, but we, like I said,
probably the garbage.
Probably the garbage. We had 2 little kids, and things were just stressful, and I had ended up in my bathroom alone and crying. God, there has to be more to this. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So it's all that?
And that night forever changed my life. To make the long story short, he worked and changed me, and he still is. And through many different resources, I read lots of books, podcasts, conversations with people, messages, just lots of different ways. But he changed me. And honestly, I don't really know that CJ or the kids ever changed. They still do the same thing.
They need to visit the bathroom.
But it's not necessarily what the problem is, it's what you're looking at. Mm-hmm. And so, it was a hard change. It was an ugly change. And I don't know who all knew about what was going on at the time, but I now know through God how to operate my machine, my life. Doesn't mean that I always do it correctly. There are times I'll tell CJ all the time, like, I know what I'm doing wrong, and I know how to do this correctly. I'm just not doing it. But the things that used to be such a burden, taking out the trash is really one of them. I think it stems from living at home. Dad and Josh always took out the trash. Like, me and Mom never had to touch it. And so, like, I just naturally thought, like, CJ's gonna take out the trash. That's what happens. Well, that's not how it worked in his house. And so the trash never got taken out. And now, what used to be a fight and a burden, I find joy in getting to take the trash out for my family. I find joy in all of the things that made me mad and that were a burden. I can be happy and have joy through those. It's simple things, but God worked in me and showed me what I was created for. I believe that, God created women to be the helpmate for the men, and, we have a motherly instinct, and I wasn't able to find that the way the world was showing it, because it's not the same, the way God intended motherhood and wifing, and this is very awkward for you. You can't relate to anything. Awkward. It's a little awkward. But
good, yes.
But instead of looking at all the wrong places and how to operate the machine, I went to the Creator, and He showed me how. And all of the things that frustrated me and that I was, twisting the wrong thing and pulling and all the things I was doing wrong, He's like, this is how you do it. And once you do that, it's just, the difference in my life is unbelievable, and how much joy I can truly have now in knowing how to do things.
One of the things that I was thinking when you're talking about that, so I don't deal with a lot of machinery. She talked about, we used to both work at a Dairy Queen, which had the big soft serve ice cream machine. So every Saturday-ish.
Saturday morning, yeah.
Yeah, we had to, we would do every Saturday morning. We have to go in and you have to empty all the ice cream out and change, like take every piece apart, wash it, and reassemble it. So that's about as deep into machinery as I get. And it's been quite a few years. Yes. But what I can relate to, like when you're talking about that, and it's kind of the same concept, I have put together an ungodly amount of furniture in my life. I hate with IKEA, you can just rot. Like I hate putting together furniture. I worked for a nursing home for 6 years. And I was the only guy on staff. So naturally, had to put all the furniture together, like getting our own home, put furniture together, the church, put furniture together, like everywhere I go, gotta put furniture together.
I don't know if I have furniture that needs to put together.
Putting furniture together with a passion so much. I hate it. But this is the thing, and I really came to learn this spiritually, and it's kind of like Rachel said, like it really is life-changing if you can really grasp this. There's nothing more frustrating than sitting down with the instructions and trying to put all the pieces together and trying to do what the paper says, and then coming to find out that there's a piece missing. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast. Have I talked about this on the podcast? I know I've talked about it in Sunday school.
Sunday school.
So for example, now I'm going to just start babbling. I'll try not to cry about my furniture, but I can't guarantee you anything. But I remember there was a really, really nice dresser, ginormous dresser that they bought at the nursing home I worked at. And I think it came from not Kroger.
I was like, that's
Big Lots. In the freezer section next to the peas and carrots. No. Big Lots. Yeah, the same parking lot in Sandusky. Anyways, I could be mistaken, but anyways, it's this really large dresser. And I remember they got it to me, you get it all out, you get the instructions out, you get the list, and you're finding all the pieces, it's all. So I finally get like what I can put together, and like I'm just hitting a dead end. Like I'm reading the instructions, I'm looking at the pieces, I'm like, this is just not adding up. Well, come to find out, the manufacturers forgot to add literally like one of the sides of the dresser that holds everything together. And so literally failure. And what I come to realize spiritually is that is how I live. I live frustrated, angry at times, disappointed, discouraged, because things aren't working like they're supposed to. Things aren't going according to the instructions, according to the plan. But this is what I came to learn spiritually. You can trust God to include all the pieces. Mm-hmm. You can trust God that the instructions are always flawless, always perfect. And so like Rachel told us, if you'll go back to the original creator, if you'll go back to God himself and say, listen, I don't know how to be a dad. or mom. I don't know how to be a husband. I don't know how to be a son or a daughter, a grandchild. I don't know how to be a nephew. I don't know how to be a church person, a youth group kid. I don't know how to be whatever it is, insert the blank there. Or maybe it's even your life. Like, I don't know how to do my job. And I hope you're not a brain surgeon or something, but maybe, I don't know how to do my job. I don't know how to, the Lord wants me to sing. I don't know how to sing. Whatever it is that you find yourself in, and you see that you're failing and you see that you're flopping and you just can't get it right, chances are you're not going according to the Creator's plans, because He's included all things. 2 Peter says He's given us all things for life and godliness. So everything's included. The box of life comes with all the pieces that you're going to need, and His instructions are flawless. There's not a single step missing. And so anytime we're frustrated, anytime we're lacking joy, it's because we're not going back to the Creator. We're trying to figure it out on our own. Men are infamous for trying to, I won't say how many times I've done it, but we won't look at the instructions, right? We know better than IKEA. And so we try to, this is obviously a leg, this is obviously a screw, like I'm just gonna figure this thing out. And a lot of times it adds to frustration. Yeah, it's frustration, and you got this like donkey looking dresser that's like disconfigured. But I don't know, I've just really come to learn that, like, you can trust God. Yep. You can always depend on His instructions and His provision. He's always given you what you need. He's always given you the plan. All you have to do is trust Him and do as He says. Sometimes that doesn't make sense. Sometimes that means crying in your bathroom. Sometimes that means learning, sometimes it doesn't make sense, but do you trust Him? Do you trust that it's a flawless plan and all the pieces are there?
Right. And for me too, that's kind of the next thing I had was, oftentimes if life starts falling apart, or I'm getting mad at the kids more, I'm getting frustrated more, or, your pieces start falling apart or whatever, I go back to, if you want the instructions or whatever, and I realized that I was trying to take a shortcut. Sure. I was taking it back into my hands. I know that this plus this equals this, but let's take out this and put in what I want. Right. And it doesn't work that way. It has to be the way the instructions say, because if it's not, there's no other way to put
Jesus
that stuff
over
together.
You. Yeah, it has to be His way.
Yep. Good talk. Do you have anything else to add?
I don't know. One thing that you also said this is supposed to be Rachel's episode, so I'm like trying so hard, like, Jamie wouldn't be talking right now. Actually, she probably would be talking right now.
So go ahead.
So I'll just go ahead. But one thing you said, like, I lost it. Oh, I hate it when that happens, and it's on camera this time.
Do I need a water jug?
Yeah, water jug baseball, please. Shoot. Now you have to start over. Maybe I'll think of it again. I liked it too. I don't know what it was, but it was
must
good.
Not have been that
yeah,
good,
whenever she said it was good.
All right. So, do you have anything else besides whatever that might have been?
No. I am empty right now. Very empty.
Oh.
Crickets. That's all I hear.
Okay. Well, you can't even see them. All right. Well, the considerable quote. Remember, you can't see anything.
The crickets are not. They're hypothetical crickets. You can't see them either. If you see crickets.
Oh, you don't see those?
Okay.
The considerable quote today is from. I don't know how to say that last name.
Drummond?
Yeah.
It's like a lot of M's.
Drummond. That might be a typo. There might be one too many. Matthew Drummond. I don't know.
I think it's Matthew Drummond.
Matthew. Mr.
Okay, Matthew. This is from Matthew.
No one can get joy by merely asking for it. It is one of the ripest fruits of the Christian life, and like all fruits, it must be grown.
I thought of it. Do you want me to go back?
We could go.
Silence the crickets. Okay. CJ, if you can do like a rewind, like. So, I was thinking you said something, and it was actually really good.
We're not used to that. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Oh no. This is so embarrassing.
How many times can we?
Okay, I think I thought it. So, this is something that the Lord has really been pressing in my life, and even in this church, and even in camp, like a lot of ways with Unmovable. There is no such thing as a unfixable brokenness in Christianity. And what I mean by that is if you see in your Christian life that something's not adding up, something's not right, He has a solution. There is a solution. The answer is never to just accept it for broken.
Right.
He always makes something out of the brokenness. He never leaves us in a broken state. We talked about that in Shattered in 2019. Always there's something to do with that brokenness to make it into something else. And so like whether it's a mom and you're like, this is just not working, seek the solution. If you're a Christian and you find yourself stumbling and falling, seek the solution. If it's your church, right? Things are not functioning properly in your church. Seek the solution. Never, ever, ever, ever does he call us to leave it broken down, to leave it flawed. There's always an answer, and the answer comes from the Maker. I hope that was worth it. That was very burdensome for me. I feel like I need a nap.
Probably.
Would you like to say Matthew Drummond
No, I think we
again?
can move on to the song of the day.
Okay, I'll try to be quiet.
It's
miss
the
Jamie.
same as Jamie.
We miss Jamie, yeah.
The song for today is by Jason Gray, Remind Me Who I Am.
Remind me of anything I can think of, honestly. That'd be a great song.
Well, this was interesting to say the least.
I'm going to have to. Next week, Jamie will be back and I will be gone.
Yeah. And then the following week, I will be gone.
Well, I will be here next week, but I won't be here next week. You two will do it without me next week.
Why would I do it without you next
You
week?
always do it. It's
Should we
Jamie's
have
turn.
this discussion on camera?
Okay, this is awkward. Are you still watching, you creepers? It doesn't matter. Someone will be here next week. Someone will talk to you. I promise. I will try to... I forgot what it is. I will try to remember if I'm supposed to be here. Okay, I don't know. We should say bye now. This is getting bad. This is getting awkward. Please come back next week. Please don't judge us by this episode. We miss Jamie.
Yep.
Till next time, continue on in Christ.